Welcome to IGM Guru. IGM Guru is one of the global leading online training and certification provider for IT expert by the skilled IT gurus to help them achieve their professional goals.
So let's understand the insights with SAP Analytics Hub. So then this topic we will understand what is SAP Analytics Hub, and SAP Analytics Hub is a tool within SAP Analytics Cloud portfolio which brings all your cloud or your on-premise based assets in the single front-end platform. And whether your information is coming from SAP or from a third party, you can add it as a add it as an asset in the catalog, and you can very easily search the asset. Very easily you can work with the asset. So if you see, it is a single cloud-based single point of access for all your different analytical applications, dashboards, visualizations what you have created into one single catalog, which is documented, which is categorized and curated by power users. So you can add comments, you can search the different assets in that. So it becomes like an asset library. Okay, so if you see here, so SAP Analytics Hub will have the different assets which are brought from different, like these are different SAP Analytics Cloud assets, and you can also do a my favorites, and then you can, if you're an administrator, you can also do some content management as well. Okay, so it is basic, it's a fully customizable catalog, and which allows you to which allows you to have search functionalities, favorites, most viewed, and also additional filtering capabilities, and so this is very similar to Launchpad portal. Okay, so Launchpad, but there is a slight difference. Launchpad portal is authored. That means it only will provide you on-premise SAP Analytics solutions which you are entitled to see. Okay, and also it has a very limited business intelligence component, but SAP Analytics Hub shows you all content even which a user is not officially entitled, or which a user is not added in the particular story or so. Okay, so but you'll be able to see and search all the content. Now based on the authorization, user will be able to open a content or not, but still you'll be able to see all the content over the SAP Analytics Hub as a catalog. Okay, so some of the benefits what you get is you can, it's a central repository for describing the governed analytics. There's no need to remember the links. You can very easily use interlinked assets to navigate between different assets, and it also stores the metadata and the links to the source system, so you can understand where the data is coming from. It acts as a single source of truth and single version of truth, and you can basically you no need to have different set of analytical assets in different places. Both business users, power users, and developers can access this single version of truth, and a it provides a clear definition of the data and the KPIs. Okay, so these are some of the features of Analytics Hub. Okay,
Is it a
and
separate tool or what? I mean,
yes, it's a separate tool with a separate license as well.
okay.
Okay, so think of it just like a asset library or catalog where you can publish your stories and bring all the SAP and non-SAP content as well. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at the SAP Analytics Cloud architecture. Okay, so in this, if you see, this is all the components of SAP Analytics Cloud, and you will see what are the sources or the systems which you can access, where the SAP Analytics Cloud platform is hosted, and so. Okay, so this basically shows, let's come from the bottom to top. It shows that you can bring data from an on-premise data sources as well as through a cloud applications and cloud sources as well. And this SAP Analytics Cloud is a service on SAP Analytics Cloud platform. Okay, so let me just show you one more thing. So okay, so this is a trial account, and if you see, these are the details of sub account and service assignments. Let's see if we have got the Analytics Cloud in this. Okay, I will not get in the beta one. Let me, but anyways, quickly check if it has. Okay, there are 11 services which are available in SAP Analytics Cloud, and we don't have in the US one. So, and I will add a new account. Okay, so this will take some time for this trial account to create. So SAP Analytics Cloud is basically a service which is sitting on top of SAP Cloud Platform. And if a customer wants to go for license for this, so they actually look at the specific tenant which is granted to them. So this is something which you see we have got on EU10. So EU10 is the region on which SAP Analytics Cloud, this is my name of the instance of my service which is running on EU10 services. Okay, and if you also go to this, and you'll be able to see what are the different services which will be which are part of it. So if you go to Analytics, so this is part of your SAP Analytics Cloud service. Okay, so all the different types of your data management, your HANA Cloud data
One
warehousing
question.
is, yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
So
hear you.
question is that for like you say SAC is available for cloud platform. So is there any
Mm-hmm.
mandatory that it should be only SAP cloud form, or like there's a many cloud form right now, Azure, Amazon or something. So it can be
Mm-hmm.
anything, any platform can be,
Correct.
yeah,
It
or
can be on
any
any
hack
platform.
only.
Correct. So it can be on AWS, it can be on SAP data center, or it can be on GCP as well. Okay.
So Rahul, one more thing. So what is the concept
Yes.
of tenant here?
What is the concept of tenant?
Tenant, yeah.
Okay. So tenant is basically there are two concepts. So based on in what context you say. So in case of a cloud, so what happens in cloud? We do there are different types of cloud as well. So you have a multi-cloud, you multi-tenant cloud, and you have instances of a tenant. So when we talk about multi-cloud, it is a terminology, multi-tenant cloud is a terminology in your cloud computing, which allows your customer to have and share the computing capabilities or resources like compute capabilities, the network bandwidth, then operating system, and so on. And each of this are called as your tenant. So in case earlier, in case of big data centers, different customers used to rent or subscribe to certain services, and hence they were called as tenant. Think of tenant like your a big complex. A lot of places in Mumbai and Bangalore, you see a very big complex where there are different companies are registered for like one floor or few um, offices as well, or particular square feet areas also is available. So these are called as tenant. They'll share the building, they'll share the security, they'll share the same lift, they'll share the electricity as far as their allocated spaces. They'll share the resources of corporate municipal taxes and also on. Plus they'll share the parking and everything. So they're sharing resources among each other, but they do not own the building. They only pay as far as the contractual obligations what they have. So this is when we call as a multi-tenant cloud. That means there is a whole building and there are multiple participants in the building and they are accessing the resources for that. So there are different service providers which provide a similar concept for IT like AWS, IBM Cloud, Azure, GCP, Google Cloud Platform. And these providers host their own data centers, necessary computing resources, databases, servers, which allow you to run your applications or run your services or different categories of services like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and so.
So
Now,
whenever
there.
suppose some company wants to go for this SEC
Mhm,
implementation,
mhm.
so as a company, I would ask SAP to give me the subscription. So
Correct. You'll
it's
buy
a
a subscription.
SAP. So it's up to ACP to get into its AWS or SAP data center or Google Cloud
No, no,
platform.
no.
It's not our business.
No, no, no. It is important because there are all these services. I'll come to this later on. That's what I want. So there are different regions. Okay. So you have SAP Analytics Cloud. So customers can choose their data centers. Okay. Otherwise, the closest data center will be used because of the lag. If you put, suppose I'm sitting in Africa and I take Canada, or if I take Japan, so this will take a lot of lag, or anyways it will connect through wide area network. So there's the distance between the center of operations and the center of data center should not be too much, else there will be a lot of lag you will see in your reports or in your dashboards and so on. Idea
So
is
when you
to
say lag, it is nothing but the performance.
performance. Yes, that is called as your latency. Okay, so the
Latency, right?
latency will be higher. Okay, so now what happens if you see the different data centers, the amber colors are SAP data center and the blue colors are on AWS Cloud Foundry. Now sometimes some countries they have restrictions that they cannot move their confidential data out of their region. Then in that case, like if you see in Middle East and so on, so in that case this SAP Analytics Cloud tenant has to be taken from that particular data center. Now, when I talk about tenant, especially with SAP Analytics Cloud, what I mean is an instance. Okay, so if you see this one, where is my mouse?
Rahul, so how we can decide that? I mean, from which part of the world we can take tenant?
Correct. So that's what I'll tell you. So this is a complete list of SAP Analytics Cloud data center, SAP Cloud Platform data centers across different vendors, SAP, AWS, Azure, GCP, and Alibaba. And if you want to search for your service. So you can see this my SAP Analytics Cloud is available on both Neo platform, which is an SAP proprietary cloud environment provided by SAP, and Cloud Foundry environment provided by AWS and Azure. So based on the region, you can choose which region do you want to go for it. So suppose if you want to go for Neo environment, and you can look at these are different regions where SAP Analytics Cloud is available, like US East, West, Australia, Sydney, Canada, Brazil, Europe, UAE, and Riyadh. But I will say go for Cloud Foundry because all the new features and developments, predictive capabilities, all are coming as part of your Cloud Foundry instance only, not on the new instance. Cloud Foundry is your open source platform, and this is
Rahul,
not owned by. Hello?
I'm not able to see. Are you sharing the screen or not?
Yes, my screen is shared.
I'm not able to see. Can you check with others?
Others, are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, we're able to see.
Okay, anyways, I'll stop sharing again and start sharing. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
I've started sharing. Let me know if you're able to see the screen. Are you able to see now?
No, only a camera is coming. Flash something.
In case if there is an issue, can you rejoin?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, so better is to choose your Cloud Foundry because everything
Now
will
a
be coming
question.
on Cloud Foundry.
So what
Yes.
exactly is this Neo and Cloud Foundry? I mean, are these different versions of, different products of SAP Analytics Cloud?
No, no, no,
Because
no,
what
no.
you're saying is that Cloud Foundry will have the predictive analysis
No,
capability
no,
and
no.
Neo will
I'll
not.
come to that. I'll come to that. So Neo is the environment which is provided by SAP. So when SAP started its data center, it did not went for the Cloud Foundry, which is the default standard open source platform for your application development. So they created their own platform, and this platform's environment is called Neo. And let me also show you in the tool itself. So we have two environments, and there are two development environments, Cloud Foundry and Neo. So Cloud Foundry trial runs on a third-party data centers like from AWS, Azure, and Google, and they are limited to 90 days in the trial access. And Neo is provided by SAP, and this is a development environment provided by SAP on their SAP data centers. And since Neo SAP started early on Neo, so most of the services are available on Neo compared to SAP Cloud Foundry. Cloud Foundry in trial you only have 40 services, but in Neo you have 102 services as of now. So you can see these are the different microservices which are available on SAP Cloud and SAP Cloud Platform. So SAP Jam, SAP Portal, SAP Build, then you have document service, data quality service, rapid application development service, web ID full stack. This is now going to be replaced by a business studio. Then integration capabilities, then business rules workflow, then Git service, HTML5 applications, Java lifecycle management. The DevOps operations can be done using the platform foundation, and so okay.
This is a Neo capability, right? This is Neo
This is
environment.
Neo capabilities, yes. So
So
in
this
Neo
is
you
more
have
mature than the Cloud Factory in terms of
Cloud
services.
Foundry. Cloud Foundry. So in terms of services, yes, but in terms of flexibility, in terms of deployability, no. In terms of flexibility and deployability, Cloud Foundry is more flexible. Here you can create Java applications, HTML5 applications, and access 5 applications only, and you can only connect to HANA database and SAP provided database. But in Cloud Foundry, it is basically an open source cloud application platform which is supported by Google, IBM, Microsoft, Pivotal, SUSE Linux, then SAP as well. And you can build your different applications. So, and you can very easily move these applications from one Cloud Foundry tenant to another Cloud Foundry tenant. Very easily you can do that. So that's a flexibility what you can get over there, because most of this Cloud Foundry tenant will have the same services available. Okay, so Cloud Foundry is basically a container-based architecture which runs applications in any programming language. And SAP Neo, they started with a virtual VMware as a virtualized machine, virtual machines where you can deploy your apps, and you can also scale up and scale down. But if you have heard about containers, if you have heard about Swarm, or if you have heard about Kubernetes, so Cloud Foundry is the place where you can work with that. Okay, so it is an open source project which has open contributions, open governance, and it provides a maximum flexibility to avoid vendor lock-in. Okay, so if you want, you can read more details about this here. So this is a open source, and so you can understand what is a Cloud Foundry, what is supported by, these are different support, and also you can create your different Cloud Foundry projects. So these are the Bosch runtime, application runtime. So we use mostly this application runtime on CPI, and we use the container runtime for building our applications. Then we have Open Service Broker API as well, so which allows you to connect between different APIs across different cloud platforms as well. Okay, so SAP Analytics Cloud and SAP Cloud Platform, sorry, your cloud platform, Cloud Foundry, and Neo are two development environments, and SAP has tied up with different partners like AWS, Azure, and in all places, see, SAP Analytics Cloud cannot have, SAP cannot have data centers across all the places, so they tie up with different partners, and some of the microservices, some of the micro, just one second. Okay, so some of the microservices will from SAP will be deployed. So SAP is trying to make it more towards their Cloud Foundry, but since all these Cloud Foundry are owned by the partner data centers, so SAP will continue to invest in the new services as well, and all the new services first gets developed in Neo, like all any new microservice, and then slowly they will transition this to Cloud Foundry as well, because a lot of customers, they have AWS subscription, they have Azure subscription, and they want to see that if they can use multi-cloud option. That means they can have their business data on one cloud, and they can build application on another cloud, and they can interconnect this cloud together. Okay, is this clear? I understand many of you do not have the cloud background, but a basic understanding of what is cloud, what is Neo, and what is Cloud Foundry, is this clear?
So Rahul, so when you say this SAP Neo and AWS Cloud Factory, so when I want to
Cloud
use
Foundry,
SAP,
Cloud Factory is different tool.
yeah, AWS Cloud Foundry, so when
Okay.
I want to use SAP Analytics Cloud as a package, when I say as a
Hmm.
package means all the features of this product, be it predictive, be it I mean application designer, the stories and other stuffs. So if I go with SAP Neo and if
Hmm.
I go or if I go with Cloud Foundry, the features
Mhm.
are going to be common, right? It's not that this feature is
Correct.
available in only Neo
You'll
or
not
this
see
feature.
you'll not see any difference at all. Only thing your difference what you'll see is the name of tenant. Okay, apart from that you'll not see any difference at all. Same features are available, but what happens, in fact what was happening earlier, since SAP Analytics Cloud was first put on Neo, so features are coming up in more in Neo. So past till 2018 more features were rolling out for Neo. Then SAP shifted its direction towards Cloud Foundry, and in the trial, especially in the trial account, we saw that new features like predictive, or even in enterprise account we saw that predictive capabilities were not coming, or some other features like planning features came late in Cloud Foundry. So later in 2019 second half we saw more features coming in Cloud Foundry, and SAP say that they will continue to push more features in Cloud Foundry tenants as well. But
So,
from
so
a
at the end of
usage perspective,
the
you'll
day,
not see any difference at all.
So, Rahul, so my organization has already procured SAP Analytics Cloud SAC, right?
Mhm.
So at that point of time, we were not asked, I mean, where we want to keep our this instance, whether it is on, Australia or in China or something like that. So can we change it, or I mean, or this the discussion we had now just for information point of view?
If the deal is already done, then I don't think so, because usually they have 1 year subscription. So, but
Three
in
years.
case if it is,
Yeah.
yes, so you have taken for 3 years.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I'm saying minimum is 1 year. So that is what
Okay.
they will have. So if you have, based on your contracts and SLAs between SAP and your organization, so that would have been done accordingly. So probably you can check, there should not be much problem in shifting. So you need to check what is the version what you're working, and SAP, and in fact if you are going to start development now, so it is good for you to look at this option of, suppose if you want to get a closer tenant to your base of operations, or if you want to go for specific vendor like AWS or Azure based vendor. So you can, Azure is doesn't have much things, only you have Cloud Foundry and Neo, you will have better options, availability. Okay, but if in case if you have your S4 HANA cloud, in case if you're taking S4 HANA cloud as well, then S4 HANA embedded edition will be much more favorable. So this will be available only on AWS. Okay, so
Our see our S4 HANA is on AWS only, right? So
no,
the
no. Again, the fact is different. S4 HANA cloud is different, and S4 HANA on AWS is different.
yeah, so S4 HANA on AWS.
Okay, so that is an on-premise base for your AWS. Yes.
AWS. So from where we are fetching data
Mm-hmm.
inside our SAC, and this SAC tenant you are referring
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
earlier. I mean, it might be in Australia, it might be in China, it might be in US, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that particular instance we need to take care of before finalizing a deal.
What kind of
I mean,
what?
if you are procuring licenses for SAC, right? At that
Mhm.
point of time, we have to make sure that this instance should be in Cloud Foundry, and the location of that particular instance should be on that particular region. So am I right? I
No,
mean, this
no.
is the
So
right way to.
no, what I
Yeah.
meant. No, no. What I meant earlier, like in 2019.
Hmm.
SAP saw that more features were coming in Cloud Foundry, and for me, as if you ask as a developer or a consultant, for me I
Hmm.
always prefer to use Cloud Foundry because I can easily deploy my solutions on other tenant as well. Okay, so it provides me a vendor flexibility. I can choose any vendor later on, but as of now it is only on AWS. So still there is a vendor lockdown if even if you are using your SAP Analytics Cloud Cloud Foundry environment. Okay, so when as a when we received the tenants from SAP Analytics Cloud, we have been using tenants from SAP Analytics Cloud from past 3 years, and in all forms like enterprise, in test and demo system, and also in trial account, we saw that more features were getting pushed in 2019 for Cloud Foundry. And it is more easier to develop because of the different services which are available, for which SAP builds its core platform. You can always ask, in case if you have such kind of things, like if your S4HANA is on AWS, so then you can move it on your AWS, but only these regions will be supported: Europe, Frankfurt, US East, Brazil, Japan, Australia, and Singapore. So in case if you have S4HANA on AWS, you should be on some of these tenants. And if you, why I'm saying so, because if you have the S4HANA and SAP Analytics Cloud on same tenant, it will be, your latency will be very less. You
Okay.
got my point?
Yes, I'm getting your point.
See, the data is moving the same data center, so it just becomes a local area network for that. In case if you are having, suppose it is Frankfurt, and you are having your data center for SAP Analytics Cloud in Australia, there will be a lot of lags, so your reports will not be very fast.
I got your point. I got your point that, I mean, our instance, our SAC instance should be on that particular region which is near to our on-premise location, right? So currently we have, I mean, our on-premise S4 HANA is on Mumbai location. It is AWS Mumbai data center, and I think SAC is
It is
is
not available in
located
India.
on Australia. Yeah, it's not available
Okay.
in India. It is on Australia.
So
So how
closest
that
one
is
is
that?
Singapore for you.
Yeah, that is my point. That is my question. So at that point in time, I was not aware. I mean, so how we can change that particular location? So is it from our end, or we
See,
have to request
no,
SCP?
you will have to request SAP, because if you see your tenant, so this here, this trial is on Europe 10, that is on the Europe tenant. And if I show you your Cloud Foundry, okay, so there are different global accounts, so you'll have different regions: Europe, Middle East. So this is trial account will have very limited environments, so you have a global account. So this is a license. When you buy a license with SAP and SAP for your SAP Cloud Platform or for AWS, you'll get a global account. Now this global account is available on a specific environment, like my global account is in Europe, Rotterdam. So you'll have to check with SAP whether you can shift your global account to some other, or if not, then can you at least shift the tenant from maybe the other global account to the account which is closest to you. Okay, like here I have got my global account on Europe, but I've got a Frankfurt AWS service. Then I have got a US East US East sub account as well. So you can also have a sub account separately as well in different regions. So that is one way. This is in your hand. So global account definition is based on your discussion, based on your deal with SAP, but creation of sub account in any specific region is in your hand. That you can do.
Okay.
If you have explicitly selected only SAP Analytics Cloud license, then during the deal they would have asked the team, the basis team, or whoever is the representative from your company, that which account, which location would you need. Okay, if this has not been done, you can still go ahead and discuss and finalize it. That should not be much of an issue, unless they become very stringent and say, okay, no, we cannot give. But that is not the case. Usually they will do. Okay, so let's see in the trial account in beta. I have enabled beta version, because in some of the releases, some of the capabilities are available in the beta subscription only. So there are 21 subscriptions which are available, and so these open connectors are available in Cloud Foundry itself, and that's the reason we do have more an SAP S/4HANA Cloud for data enrichment, SAP IRPA. Okay, we do not have in this one. They have stopped giving the SAP Analytics Cloud's service on beta. So earlier we used to see 40 services, now we are only seeing 21 services. Okay, so not a problem. So just think of SAP Analytics Cloud service running on a specific region, and once you are using a region, suppose I'm using this sub account region, and I have different service marketplaces. So here you see 40 service marketplaces. So so what happens whenever we use any application? Let's assume that I'm using connectivity, and you will have the instances running of that particular connectivity. So suppose if I'm putting a plan, I'm using a different plan. So based on your subscription with SAP, you can have different service plan. Service plan basically tells how much you are going to use it, how many API calls, how many compute capacity, and what is the size of the services which you want to take. So you can choose the plan. So trial will have not many, trial will have limited plans. Okay, so here I'm creating an instance of the my connection. So this is the instance what we are using, and if we have some other applications, if you are doing some like CPI tenant or any other tenants, so what will happen, it will provide me a link over here to access the tenant, and this link is generated when you create an instance of a service. And if you see here, this is my instance of the service. This is the name, or this is the header. SAP trial is the name of the tenant. Then SAP SSE U10, it gives the path for the what service on what region, and this is the hash number which is generated for the instance, and this forms the complete path of the SAP Analytics Cloud URL. Then this is your region name, then this is part of your HANA services on cloud.sap.com, then SAP, this is a path of the your tenant. Okay.
So Rahul, one question here.
Yes.
So I mean, I will ask this question in context of business intelligence platform. So whenever we want to log in into this BI platform, we had this BI Launchpad link, and we had this Fury link through which we can get into any of the reports. So as a developer or as an end user, if we want to log in into our SAP Analytics Cloud platform, what exactly is the URL? I mean, it's a common URL across the world, or it's a company specific URL?
So it is a common URL across the world, or you can also, if you have, like, suppose if I'm just using this, if I have this URL, okay, so I can direct, this is a direct URL to my tenant, or if you go to your, yesterday I showed you that if I just log into your SAP Analytics Cloud.com and okay, if you just go to SAP Analytics Cloud, and here also you have this option of login. So once you click here, it will ask you whether you have license account. So this is an enterprise or a purchase account, or if you have a trial account. Based on the license account or trial account, it will navigate to the particular services. So if you see, the trial account is always on the U10. Okay, And if you are in this, if you have this link, that is which you will be generally be given by your subscription. So suppose whenever you're added as a user in SAP Analytics Cloud, so you'll receive an email to activate your account and to log in with your user ID, so which is provided by your administrator. Administrator will create a user for you. So suppose here if you see, so we do not have an option here, but you will see there is an users. So you can click on this and administrator will assign the user to you. So you can directly use this path and log in to your respective tenant, or you can just come to your SAP Analytics Cloud homepage and log in from there as well. So how
Okay.
does it map based on your email ID? It will see where all your user is mapped. Okay, and you can choose that particular option to go. Suppose if you are a licensed version, if you have a global account in Rotterdam, then when you log in with your email ID, it will take you to the Rotterdam region and open the SAP Analytics Cloud for you. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
but I work on multiple regions, so I just in generally I just give the region name, so like and then I log in according to there. Okay, so let's come back to architecture. So SAP Analytics Cloud, um, if you see, it is a software as a service. That means it is provided as a microservice on SAP Analytics Cloud, and it enables access to your on-premise and cloud data sources. And also SAP Analytics Cloud provides live data connections, which is an online method of connecting to the sources, and a data acquisition, that is a batch method of connecting on the data. And there are some write back features as well in some of the tools. Now in SAP Analytics Cloud, as I told, this is hosted on SAP Cloud Platform. The tenant of SAP Analytics Cloud is hosted on SAP Cloud Platform, which in turn are hosted on the different data centers. For AWS, sorry, for SSE, we can use the infrastructure as SAP Data Center or AWS only. And these are some of the core capabilities you have, like you can create data connectivity options to different sources, data wrangling, where you can perform certain options of sorry, you can perform certain actions of mashup, data mashups, data cleansing, data allocation, data fine tuning can be done over here. And then you can start building your models. So models can be your analytic model, your planning model based on your business requirements. And then we have some administration auditing, like here you can so you can monitor the system, and you can check the traces, how many users are logged in, what is the space consumed by the users, and what application, what reports, how much reports are consuming the different size, and how frequent the people are logged into that, how many times they are logged in. So the different monitoring capabilities are available on SAP Analytics Cloud for the administrators. Then we have story building experience, where we can create visualizations, stunning visualizations, and place them in the stories and share these stories along with teammates, with the business users, and so on. So please remember that the story collaboration is only with the users who are registered in the SAP Analytics Cloud. Then you can create a responsive story which can fit in different, some of the Apple based iOS devices. And you also have SDKs, custom APIs to work with this. Plus you also have one more feature, I'll just tell you, api.sap.com, and so you also have SAP Analytics Cloud API package, which will allow you to do OEM tenant management. You can open your story and application URL in your custom cloud platform application, and you can also get some of the what are the users if you want to fetch the users, and if you want to get some stories and get the story details. So you can use the APIs and use them to get the list of the stories and the metadata for the stories. Okay, so these are basically your, you can open a particular story if you give the story ID, and suppose in your application, you when you click on a button, you develop an application, and you click on a button and it will open the particular story from SAP Analytics. So this can be achieved through APIs as well.
So,
Okay, so
so
these
if
are
somebody wants to install this API, so this will be a task of the administrator to take care of this thing, right?
install an API. What do you mean by that?
I mean, to activate this API. Is this
So
already
this
installed?
API, yeah, these APIs are available on api.sap.com. What you can do is you can either download this SDK and develop locally, or you can bring this into your own API cockpit. Okay, so you can log in and bring into your own API cockpit, and if you're building your application, you can refer to these APIs directly over there. So what will happen, you will have to set up your environment. Okay, so just one second. Okay, so you can develop your APIs and work with them APIs as well, or you can bring this you can use the api.sap.com and refer these APIs and configure these APIs to work on your environment. Suppose I've got an your SAP S4HANA box, and I have configured this to run on my S4HANA box for the some of the S4HANA APIs. So you can, on the same box, you can also setup, and this you'll have to do a setup of cloud connector by which it will be able to navigate to the APIs if the API is in different cloud account. So APIs are universal that can be accessed from anywhere in the world through any application. Okay, so it follows REST protocol. So these are other REST APIs which can be used to open any stories, or you can check the users, you can check the authentications and so on. So if you, in short, what I can say that these APIs are available on cloud itself, and you can call the APIs from cloud platform itself. Is your question answered?
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm asking here is that you say that the features of such, I mean, the features such as this to get the metadata of the stories. For example, I want to know that what are the stories list for what has been developed so far. So as a developer, if I want to use this feature in my one of the stories, I am creating a story in which I want to show the list of stories so far created in my environment. So if I want to use this, the configuration has to be done, right, for this API in my cloud environment.
Correct.
So uh, what I'm asking is why don't SAP give this APIs ready built, I mean ready-made, I mean readily built into the cloud environment?
So this is available on cloud environment itself.
So somebody has to configure it, right, if you want to use
Yeah,
it.
you have to set your environment. So you'll have to configure your environment to run this on your particular environment. That's all. Or if you have got a AP, your so suppose I'll just see. So sandbox is not available, else I would have triggered and shown you. So basically, it just gives you this particular path. Okay, so suppose if I'm running this API, so Okay, this is the API to get the stories, and these APIs have to be configured on the same account on which your SAP Analytics Cloud is running. So you'll have to create a environment and configure this environment to run the particular APIs. And what will happen once you run this, you'll get a complete URL, complete path, including your domain name, port number, everything. And you can later on, you can directly call this API without without coming from your API cockpit, or without, you can directly reference to that API through the URL.
Rahul, can you give any sample example? Not now, maybe later on. I mean, how to configure these environments, and just one example. Right
This
now, I'm just assuming.
we are again
Right now, I'm just
we are
assuming.
digressing.
I mean,
Yeah, we are
yeah.
digressing from the topic, but this sandbox is not available. Else, I would once the sandbox is available, I'll show that to you. Okay, once we get some time.
Because I mean, what is happening? I'm just imagining. So, what this could happen? This could happen. So, if
Uh, I
any
agree.
such example can come,
I,
so
I
I mean,
agree, but this is all topics of cloud development. So whatever I'm telling you, this is all
okay,
not part of the, this is a separate topic. This will again go for a longer duration. We will lose track of the time. Once I get some free time, or once we have some, once we show this, I'll also show you this part. As of now, the
yeah,
API
not
sandbox
not
is
now,
not
not
available.
now. Maybe
Yeah.
later on. Not now. Maybe later on. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So
Okay.
let's come back. Okay, so you have also the capabilities. So these are some of the core capabilities which you have. What I meant to say is that there are different APIs also available for SAP Analytics Cloud, through which you can see the users, see the stories, and work out with the some custom applications, and where you can call the particular story as well. Then what are these are some of the inbuilt capabilities, like so you can also have the, we talked about BI, so normal BI capabilities like data discovery, data, different charts and visualizations, geospatial data can be modeled in this. Then we have planning, where you can plan your scenarios, financial data, financial analysis can be done with a value driver tree allocations, and some of the planning functionalities. Then we saw some portions of predictive capabilities yesterday. So you can use smart assets, you can use some machine learning based features like search to insight, smart discovery capabilities, and you can also create your own custom predictive models. Plus you have some application building, which is your application designer, where you can create your composite applications using some of the tools and some of the scripting capabilities. Plus you also have embedding capabilities. That means you can embed your SAP Analytics Cloud story into other applications. Okay, so you can embed your story into corporate website. You can use your identity. You can also set up an SSO between your SAP Analytics Cloud and your identity server, which will allow you to open the stories directly from your application itself. So for that you need to have a X-frame and X-frame options, and we use the concept called iframe. So if you know about web development, iframe allows you to embed another frame within a web page. Okay, so this can be easily done. And earlier we have done as a POC, but recently SAP provided this as the inbuilt capabilities. Okay, so from an application perspective, we can create digital boardroom. We talked about that. We talked about Analytics Hub, which is a central catalog for SAP, non-SAP assets built on SAP Analytics Cloud. Then we saw about mobile experiences, and we have another one which is called as a SAP App Center. So this is, are you aware of SAP App Center? So SAP App Center is just like your marketplace of different applications which are created by SAP and partners. And so like for MediaFly for SAP Sales Cloud, then Bloomberg Experience for SAP Commerce, then you have SuccessFactors S4HANA apps which are created by by partners and by SAP. So some of the things like SAP Analytics best services like location analytics, location analysis for SAP Analytics Cloud, code search for Crystal Report. PwC has predictive analytics. Then we have sales and retail package with food and wine, and there are different services which are available which are created on top of this. So you can also see a complete list over here, and you can choose what is the component you want, and if suppose if it is provided by SAP community or if it is provided by partner, you can choose that. And you can also choose the industry, and you can also choose whether it is a API microservice or it is a tools or it is a visualizations or it is data drivers or templates or implementation packages and so on. So I'll just say it is a use case. So you also have some digital boardrooms. So these are some of the digital boardroom which are created by some of the partners, Sierra Infosys, then SAP Analytics Cloud content for easily starting for individual analytics. Now, some of them are free and some of them are chargeable. So SAP PWP POC for digital boardroom by PwC, ENY digital boardroom for GRC, then revenue recognition disclosure reporting by your I'm sorry. And then you have a scorecard for your upstream oil and gas by Visual BI. So there are some of them which are available. Okay, so if you want to see planning and analytics capabilities, so there's Infosys business trip planning is only available. Then you have, if you want to see predictive capabilities or analytics capabilities, so these are some more are available on your analytics platform. Sports budgeting, financial RDS, rapid helpers in SEC and S4HANA, and then so these are different analytics content which are available for your different scenarios. Okay, so we can also access this through industry and third-party content, which I'll show you in some time. So App Center hosts different applications, different extensions, different APIs, and any kind of reusable content which you call as an extension content by SAP community or by providers, by third-party providers. Now let's move to the industry and line of business content. So this is your different SAP Analytics Cloud components are present in your by provided by different industry. So SAP provides for these different industries starting from banking, big data, chemicals, consumer products, insurance, and all these different industries, and SAP provides predefined content in these specific areas. Okay, so the customers can do quickly on board and they can start building your I'm sorry, they can start building their visualizations, they can start building their planning scenarios, and they can start easily building their applications effectively. Okay, so
Rahul, one question.
yes.
Yeah, so related to this business content, is it similar to the business intelligence where you can see the predefined data models and the reports within the BW system? Is the same like in SAP Analytics Cloud? Can we see the business content models and stories based on the application?
Yes, yes, we can. So these are different line of business items, like suppose if you have finance, or if you have human resource, if you have project staffing, or if you have supply chain management, you can see or sales planning. So you have different industries, different line of business, predefined content provided by SAP. I'll show you that as well. And these are some of the new content which is provided in the Q1 2020 for industries like real estate, high tech, and agriculture, and financial products for IFRS 17 implementation for S4HANA. Okay, and let me come to my tenant. So in your main menu, you can go to browse, and you have click on files, and in the left hand side you'll see you get your system. So if you have any system based files, it will show over here, and then you will see the personal files for your user, so which is my files, which are assigned to you. And then we have some of the bookmarks, and this is a place where we'll see featured files. In featured files, when you click, we will have an options of the third-party content, whatever you use over there. Okay, so the thing is, in the trial account it will not come. Just one second. Okay, so this usually it comes from here, but in trial account they have not provided now. Okay, so in my enterprise account I can see a lot of other capabilities as well. So let's go to public ones. Okay, not available now. Okay, no problem. I will import some of the content as well into this, and I'll show you that. But
Okay.
here in the featured content, you'll see third party, you'll see all the some standard SAP provided I'm sorry, SAP provided content as well over here. Okay. Okay. Now they keep on changing many features. Let me see. Okay, everything is featured content is enabled. So here basically in this link you can navigate and search like any customer specific or any partner specific or SAP committee specific tools which you are having. Okay.
Yeah, 1 second, Rahul. So the one which I have asked related to the content. So I think that is visible in the browse where you went to the files, but below you have the content network.
Okay, 1 second. That's what. So this I don't see over here.
I think you don't see here, but in the licensed version, I can see it. All the
Yes,
content.
that's what I told. In the license version, you will have this. In license version, you will have one more icon over here.
Correct. Yes.
That's what I say. So that is a content network which you will see all the third party, all the your SAP committee provided license content, and you can import this. You select some features, like suppose if you are selecting some finance features, or if you're selecting something. So once you do an import, it will give you all the models, all the dimensions, all the different types of objects which you'll be importing. So you can view them, and once you bring this, it will come as part of your imported files over here in the name. So you will get to see the some standard files in the dashboard and standard uh, models which you have got it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay, so shall we just take 5 minutes break and come back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's come back in 5 minutes. Let's not spend more time. So I'll pause the recording, pause the screen sharing now. Okay, so these are the some of the content created by recent content which are created by partners. Like you can see for partner content for digitalized solutions for Acquia, and Brumsol for revenue recognition. Cognizant has provided 3 spend analysis solutions, equipment effectiveness. Then CTAC, Instructure, Infosys, then Intelligent India for CXO dashboard, and PwC for predictive analytics, Sierra Analytics for contract and lease management by Nakisa. Then we have entity data for IT infrastructure monitoring, and so on. So you can bring this different content. Visual BI has created a lot of account receivable, sales, distributions, upstream for oil and gas, and these are some of the recent packages which are brought, like material analytics solution by Savic, then Provity for planning, activity-based costing by MSG Systems, and organization review for CPG by Infosys, and so on. So you can in SAP Analytics Cloud. So from your content library in the, if you're licensed version, you'll be able to see a content library, and you will also be able to see this into your from your browser options as well. And you will have you will have an option to export a package or manage a package, and you can see some samples, business content, third-party content as well. Okay, and you can also if someone has shared a package with you, you can also see another tab here that is called as my content. Then once you click on your business content, you can see the different line of business options like financial consolidations, financial planning, and SAP community-based content like SAP insurance, SAP mining, SAP oil and gas, SAP public sector, real estate. So different SAP provided analytics solutions and the content will be available. So when you click on, suppose if I am choosing like SAP banking, and you can use this to import. Once you click on this, it will start importing the contents into your package, into your tenant. Okay, so think of this that this is centrally hosted, and for your particular tenant you want to bring this and create a local copy from the centrally hosted content. So you will be able to get your diesel boardroom, you'll be able to bring your stories, you'll be able to bring your models, you'll be able to bring your dimensions, value driver trees, everything which is required as a required for the development of the stories and visualizations. Okay, so just click on this and it will start importing the objects. You'll get an import option, whether you want to overwrite or do you want to overwrite data, or do you want to overwrite objects as well as data. Okay. Next is the comparative evaluation of SAP Analytics Cloud. So these are all different tools like Web Intelligence. We have Analysis Office for Microsoft Analysis. Then we have Lumira Designer, Analytics Cloud, and Analytics Cloud Application Design. So if you want to use a highly formatted reports, then it is preferred to go with Web Intelligence and Analysis Office for Microsoft. And if you want to get a more parameterized and dynamic layout, then Analytics Cloud will also be utilized, but the best tool will be to do your analytical designer, which will help you to do customizations of every possibilities of customizations can be done with the application designer. The same thing goes with the Lumira designer. So it is just in similar features are available from Lumira designer and Analytics Cloud designer. If you want to go for a self-service reporting or a free form layout or perform your what if scenarios analysis, best tool is your Lumira. Sorry, best tool is your web intelligence. If you want to use your hierarchical capabilities like getting hierarchies from HANA or BW system, and then in that case Analysis Office and Lumira Designer and SAP Analytics Cloud are good tools to bring your hierarchical data. If you want to go for data visualizations, your Analytics Cloud, your all the tools are good enough except Analysis Office for Microsoft, which is not very much visually appealing as of now. Then guided navigation, we can go for Lumira Designer as well as the application Cloud Designer, which helps you to enable your guided navigation. You can also enable guided navigation in your SAP Analytics Cloud. So so in your help section, you can say guided page tips and it will refresh, and you can get some tips if you created by filter. So I think you can enable this when you are going through for the first time, and wherever you'll go it will help you to perform your guided step. So like here it will tell you what are the steps to be done, how you can customize your home screen and so on. Okay. So different areas of applications you can check here, and if you go to security, so some guided navigations are available, and also during your application design as well as your story design, these guided navigations can be helpful. But once you are you have learned through this, then disable this, because it becomes very irritating. Everywhere you'll see the same tips keep on coming again and again. Then mobile reporting, best suited tool is Lumira Designer, and also for an SAP Analytics Cloud, but it has certain limitations that it can be used only for Apple devices. Then offline capabilities, best tool is Web Intelligence, all Lumira
Rahul,
Designer.
one question.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Like mobile reporting on Lumira Designer, okay, is kind of a Fury thing, because we know about the Fury. Fury can be reported on mobile or other devices. So Lumira is also kind of Fury kind of thing on mobile
No,
reporting.
no, Lumira is not a Fury tool. It basically it is a Java application. So all the charts are Java and HTML5 charts, and but you can create a custom applications which will be hosted on Lumira server, and you can consume this applications using a web browser. So it is mobile compatible. What we say is just how you launch your Fury Launchpad in your mobile, and you are able to work with that, and the Fury
Mhm.
tiles gets aligned on the screen on which you're working, right? Based on the screen on which you're
Mhm.
working. So similarly, the SAP Analytics Cloud, Lumira Designer, and SAP App Tools report are responsive stories. That means you can create responsive stories directly in SAP Analytics Cloud, and these responsive stories will adhere to the screen size of the device by which you are accessing these stories. It is not
Fine.
a
Got it.
Fury Launchpad, it is not a Fury tile, it is HTML5 charts, HTML5
Mhm.
visualizations, which gets aligned as far as your um, mobile or iPad screen sizes.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
One more question.
Okay. Yes.
SSE is also compatible with mobile reporting, correct? As you have, we can see in chart. So going
SSC
forward,
is also compatible with, sorry, which mobile
mobile reporting,
reporting.
mobile reporting.
Yes. Yes.
So like in Fury now we can do, we can check reports and we can do transaction. So any future, like think that Fury will be replaced by SAC something, or we can do all the transaction, everything in SAC as well, something kind of thing?
No, see, SAC is not a transactional solution. It is more of a reporting, more of a, these things. But yes, there could be some possibilities that if you create some analytical cloud designer, if you want to, let's assume you create an approve and reject button for your sales order. Okay, so you can create such and such kind of scenarios as well. You can create your custom scenarios as well. But by default, SAP Analytics Cloud will not provide you transactional capabilities. There are some write back capabilities which is present in SAP Analytics Cloud. So you can write back to your BPC, you can write back to your planning, and you can write back to your SAP HANA models as well.
So when you
But
say approve and reject button, right, I need to also store this decision, approve and reject, in one of the tables in HANA. So this kind
correct,
of capability is available through SAP Cloud's application design, which is nothing but your custom application which you are creating.
correct.
And for that, do we need any kind of features enabled, or it
See,
is by default?
See what happens when you are clicking on a button, you are basically sending a response back to the source systems and telling that, okay, this set of data should be yes and this parameter should be no. As of now, we do not have this kind of capabilities for S4HANA or for Enterprise HANA, only for BPC, and your there is a write back capabilities is available. And that also, it is not synchronized. It is a asynchronous method between BPC and SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, so but what I meant is that you can create a custom buttons, and suppose if you want to go for approval, so click on that button and you can navigate to a workflow. Okay, and from there person can see more details about the workflow, whether it needs approval, whether it needs escalations, whether you need to decline, and then you can do that. That is one way. Storing the data, yes, okay, if you want to store, because sending the data back to S4HANA and getting the this kind of sales order or this kind of business process approval is not done as of now. So there is also, but this is available in your retraction for SAP planning.
Okay, only for planning the write back facility is there, but for other applications it is still not there.
Correct.
That's what you want, right?
Correct.
And according to
Yes.
this diagram which you have presented here, the mobile reporting for this custom application is disabled. So that means that we cannot host this application in the mobile devices.
No, what it means is that we do not have that option of using this application as per, it is not responsive. That is what I meant.
Yeah, I mean you can host the stories, but you cannot host the applications.
No, you can create an application. Okay, so whenever you create an application in your analytics designer, it doesn't have this option of setting up a specific, I'll say, specific. It's not a responsive application. That is what I meant to say as of now.
Okay, the last two columns which says Analytics Cloud application design. What is exactly the difference between these two?
So this is Analytics Cloud application designer. So here you have Analytic application. So this is what we meant, Analytics designer. SAP has some naming conventions issues. Here it says create application, Analytic application, and here it opens Analytic designer first, and then it opens new Analytic design. So this is an Analytics designer where you can create your canvas, where you can write your scripts, script object,
Right.
some OData services. You can use some timer, you can export to PDF, and you can also use that. And now if you see, it has come for the mobile devices as well. So I think in this release, yeah, it has come for the mobile devices. So iPhone
Great.
X. So what will happen?
And
It
the
will.
output of this application is HTML5.
It's sorry.
The output format is HTML5.
Output format is HTML5. No, this is. You will see. You will be able to. Second, what is the format? I forgot.
Because till Lumira, whenever we used to create any applications, right, Design Studio Lumira, the output was HTML5, and that was the selling point of these products because it was very lightweight
Correct.
format. So going
Okay.
forward with this kind of SEC design, is this still HTML5 because we want to publish a very lightweight application in mobile device.
Okay. So so 1 second. I'll just open that one file. So here you can see there are certain bookmarks you can create. So it you can tag the bookmark which is hosted on SAP Analytics Cloud, and you can open this particular applications. And when I create an application, new application, you have an option of saving as is disabled. Let me just build something. I have to add a model. Okay, so and then you have this option of saving this, and it will save this as a analytical application directly in this particular server. Okay, and you can access this SAP Analytical Cloud through your bookmark directly. Like here you will have the complete path, and you can bookmark this your analytical application. So it is not not a generated I'll say application, but it is hosted on SAP Analytics Cloud itself. Plus you have an option to export the data as a PDF file. So that is what it has as of now. It is not explicitly exported as a separate application or HTML5 application.
No, so it is, I mean, before also it is not published as a separate application, but the format is, whenever we used to see those applications in mobile devices,
Web format. Yes.
yes,
Web
that was
format.
HTML5.
Yes.
So I believe it is still HTML5 only because I think nowadays it has to be lightweight application, otherwise it will crash immediately considering
Correct.
the volume of the
Okay.
data.
HTML5. Yes, it is HTML5 based application. So all the headers, everything is an HTML5 based application.
Yeah, one more thing, if you can go back to the diagram, please. Regarding the scheduling capabilities, the last one.
Yeah.
So when I say the scheduling capabilities, means if you want to schedule this one of the stories or the application design overnight, get the data from the database and host that snapshot to the end users, right? This is what the scheduling capabilities is.
Correct.
So and this scheduling capability is not there in the SEC environment yet. That's what the diagram is saying.
Yes. In this, so you do not have in your data. You have the query options, so whether you can do the query batching and merging, but you do not have an option of getting more data or running the more data, getting more imports, data imports in this, which you have as part of your story design. In story, let me just say this, or let me open a model that will show you better understanding. So in model data management, you have an option of configuring and importing the dimensions and import the this model, and you can schedule that when you want the import and export, when you have imported this, when you want the data to see all the schedules. So you can see all the schedules which are available for this.
So these are
So
offline data, right? Which you are saying that if how do you schedule
no,
the
based on the sources. So you have auto. So based on your visualization, if it is a live connectivity, you can schedule the refresh. There you just need to have the refresh. Correct. When you are
yes,
having a live data connectivity in the story itself, we have an option of refresh options.
yeah.
So let me just open.
So so I understood the concept of refresh. So every night I want to refresh my story and send it to the end user. So that is called the
Hmm.
scheduling, right?
Correct.
So is that feature available in the stories?
Stories, yes, we do have. So I'll just show that.
Okay.
So you have this option of configure auto refresh. So when do you want to have the refresh, in how many minutes and seconds? So this will be this you can have the refresh. And if you want to send emails, or if you want to see refresh of the solution, so you'll have to use the model based programming, in which first you create the model, and whenever the data comes, then you have the date and the time specific method of scheduling, and send a notification to the user as well.
So
Okay,
to send this, I mean
two
to
two
publish
things.
this thing. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
To publish this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
if you see this thing as a context of web intelligence and BI suite, we had this publication concept. In the publication, we would actually create, I mean, we will embed the Webby reports, and in the two section, we also write the users where exactly it has to go on 7 a.m. in the morning every day. So
Correct.
the kind of the broadcasting or the publications thing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where exactly it is in the story. I understood the refresh part, but where is the broadcasting capability?
Broadcasting in a sense to the users, correct?
Yes, the snapshot of this
So
story.
we do have scheduling of the imports, like when you can bring the data and so, but broadcasting to the users, like okay, once the new, every day you want to send this to a user, that is not available. Let me see
Okay,
if
all
it
right,
has
thank
new
you.
feature has come as of now in calendar or features.
I just asked you because one of my previous guy was saying that it is available now and SAP has confirmed. So not sure, but I just wanted to know
Yeah.
from you.
So there is an option to create a task. Let me just check if if they have enabled anything for okay. So this is a task, and there is no option as of now to um, perform this. Okay, so there is an option of scheduling some activities of for developers, like okay, if you want to edit it, or if you want to uh, add some assignees and reviewers, and if you want to do some development, so that is what it is done. But broadcasting capabilities, I do not see that it has come in the trial account. And so can you just give details, more details, that what is he has mentioned?
So I will let you know in the next session. I will let you know about the more
Sure.
details. I just got to know
Fine.
that the format of that broadcasting will always be PDF. That's what I understood from them.
Okay, so that is a PDF sharing. So you have this option of saving this as PDF. Let me check in trial account if it is available. So you have this option of sharing, and you can email this users, but there is no option of scheduling as of now. So
Okay,
you can
understood.
share with a user.
I will
Yeah,
get the more details and I will share with you.
sure. Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, so let's come back. So we saw about SAP Cloud user interface. We saw about the some of the menu options, like you can see your menu options of create, browse, then events, deployments, connections, and we also saw that what is the home screen looks like, and you can also see in your home screen, like, so what are the recent one is your search to insight, then what are the recent stories which you have looked, what are recent analytical applications which you have built, and what are the some of the bookmarked charts which you have kept over here, so it will appear over here, and so all quick analysis can be done on some of the, like, suppose whenever you're opening a SAP Analytics Cloud home page, and every time you want to look at some KPIs, like in financial statement, maybe you want to see what is book value, what is closing statement value, how much is the debit credit done, and or if you're a sales or a material management person, you can see how many sales order have been approved and so on. So this can be done over here. Okay, so and you also have on the right hand side some of the search capabilities. So you can search for you can have the search for the files and folders directly here. You can start your search to insight, which is same as this, and you have some notifications where you can see some notifications. um, I'm sorry, new features which are available, and some of the notifications which keep on coming over here. Then this is your collaboration. So collaboration basically allows you to have an active discussion with your users or the shared users. Suppose if you want to create a discussion, okay, and you can invite a participant. So those who are the users, so you will be able to see the list of the users and work with that. So I'm just saying P something, because this is a trial edition, so I'm not very sure we'll get any data. But anyways, this is where you can bring, if you guys are also on the same tenant, then we can see if we can collaborate and work together. So you can invite the participants. The participants will be from the list of the added user, and you can start typing message to the user. So first I need to add a user. Actually, trial edition, you cannot search and you cannot send message to others. Okay, so you also have an option to add a task or schedule a task, add a story, and tell, okay, hey, I created this story, why don't you have a look and approve the story. And you can also, as I told earlier, that you have a calendar where all your process and all your display will be there. Like suppose this is a test one where I can, so you can also invite a non-member by email. So suppose this is the, I want a person who is not a user of SAP Analytics Cloud, I can still invite this as the owner, and I can add assignee as well, because here we cannot here I'm not able to add any additional users. In trial account does not allow me to do that, but it will show you the list of all the users, and you can assign the reviewer, you can assign if you want to share with some other persons, you can do that. And this is a new feature which has come, that non-member of SAP Analytics Cloud can also be invited by the email ID. Okay, so you can have a complete Gantt chart as well, which will show you what all has been scheduled and how the progress is this active and notify.
So Rahul, here we have set the time, like I mean February 16, 2020 and due February 16, 2020. What does this mean?
This is a task, and I'm setting the due date of the task. Okay, so suppose if I'm saying a developer that okay, complete this activity by this time, and I'm assigning that this is the owner of the task. Let maybe the team lead or project manager can be the owner, and I'm the assignee, and I can add a reviewer. Let's assume the team lead can be the reviewer, or if you want to do a peer review, you can do that, and you can create a file to any other assignee as well. Okay. So basically this is a inbuilt task scheduling capabilities, and you can perform your how you perform your agile and how you perform your scrum. So instead of using this, you can just allocate the task using inbuilt capabilities of SAP Analytics Cloud. So what will happen once I schedule a task, okay, on this particular story, on this particular context. So let's assume sample, yeah. Okay, does not allow me to add the models as well. So whatever models you have created, you can specify that okay, on this model, on this particular story, I want this particular task to be completed by this particular time frame. So this will come as a notification to the assigned user, as well as this will come as part of the calendar which is shared across all the users. So mostly project management task scheduling capabilities. So here we are specifying that complete the task by this time.
Okay.
Okay. And it will give a notification to the user also that this task is pending for completed until as the I can set a reminder when 50% of task time is done, or also on the fly that you can add a reminder in every 6 hours or so. Okay. Now let's come back here. So we saw about collaborations, we saw about search, we saw about notifications, we saw about main menu, we saw about the home screen page, we saw about the user. So in user there are other capabilities as well, which is basically your like you want to set your profile, you want to request some additional roles, so that can be done with SAP Analytics Cloud as well. Okay. So this is a version where you can see SAP Analytics Cloud I showed yesterday as well. In systems, in about, you can see this is the system name. This is a version of yesterday it was 3.2. Now it has been updated to 4.2. So there are some minor changes which are which keeps on coming. So okay, now we can export the stories to PowerPoint as well. Earlier it was just your PDF, and you can also use Search to Insight on the SAP Universe live data as well. And you can now export data from SAP Analytics Cloud to S4HANA tables such as activity plan, and there's a new function which has added today to get in the UTC format. Okay, so some of the versions, so you can easily see what are the changes and updates which has come as part of it. So it's recent. Okay, so okay, so today is 16th, right? So yesterday it got updated yesterday night. So with every 15 days you'll see some minor updates coming up over there. Okay, and then major releases or updates are once in a quarter. So this is the end of unit 1. How much time do we have left for today? So we have 9 more minutes. Okay, let's go with the second part. That is the visualization story, and in this we'll see how to design and build stories and visualizations, and we'll see what are the core components. So we understood some of the basic components. Okay, so I'll again go about directly into the application, and we'll start seeing how to import the data and how to work with SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, so let's how to create a story. So go to your main menu, go to create option, and then we have stories. Okay, and when you open story you will get an option like either to choose some templates or whether you want to access and export the data from CSV, Excel or other sources, whether you want to run a smart discovery. Yesterday we created a smart discovery, and we can also add a responsive page, or you want to directly add a canvas page, or you want to add a grid page directly. So when you want to directly start with your visualizations, you use the last 3 options, and when you want to first work with your data, then you choose the first option. So let's first work with the data, and let's choose the option as a dashboard. So you have some content and the key feature templates. Okay, and then I'll add this, and in the top option you have 2 tabs, one is story and one is data. So when you click on data, it will prompt you to add a new data if you have not added in data, or if you have already added some data, then it will navigate to the data visualization. So I'll add a flat file. Okay, and I'll also guide you through how to go through this, so you can choose this exercises. So we have exercise 1 is your basic login to the SAP Analytics Cloud. I'll share this, and we'll go with the building stories with, sorry, let me start. Okay, so we'll start at the building stories with SAP Analytics Cloud, and here we'll use this source data, that is best run travel, and we'll create some of the items like your point of interest called office locations, and we will create some more stories. Today we do not have much time, so I'll just import the data and show you some basic functionalities with SAP Analytics Cloud stories. So it has since we're including importing a flat file, which is an Excel spreadsheet, so it asks that which worksheet in your spreadsheet I'm supposed to bring data. So I can bring data from it reads the 3 sheets: data upload, region, and org. It's organization. So I'll get from data upload, and I will start importing the data into this. So when we are starting with a story, internally it automatically creates the model. Okay, so ideal flow is import the data or make a connection to the source, then create a data model, and um, then import the new data or any updated data in that model, and then go for building your story. Since we started with a story, it provided me a data mashup capabilities. So you see that it has got 32 columns, 22 dimensions, and 10 are numerical measures. And there is the mapping model is complete, data, no data quality issues detected, no calculation issues detected, and we have some of the data transformation capabilities here. So there are 3 modes to see the data. One is your tabular mode, grid view. Second is your data exploration mode, which we'll see later on, and next is your card view. In your card view, it will give a summary of your columns and how many unique values are there, and if there is any data issues are there. If there is any data issue, it will show highlighted in red. So here we can see there are 1359 unique values. Everywhere it looks green, no issues. Okay, and let's come back here in my grid view, and you can perform certain analysis options, like suppose okay, so you have different some other transformations capabilities. So these are latitude, longitude. We'll use this to map our create a point of interest later on. So suppose here I have got city pair. Okay, so when I click on a particular dimension, so it tells me it is detected this as a dimension, how many number of data, how the data distribution looks like. So Sydney, Melbourne is the highest count, and so on, and there's no data quality issues it has found. It has done a sample of 2000 records, and let's assume I want to split this data into 2 parts. So I click on the column, and I have certain transformation capabilities like split on space, split on your hyphen, and when I choose this, automatically it will show the outcome. It has not performed anything, it has just shown me that how the outcome will look like in green. And it also provides you certain suggestions like extraction, how it should be done, and how you can extract after everything. And if you want to create some extra transformations like do concatenation, splitting, extraction, replace the data, or change the case of the data, uppercase, lowercase, or if you want to duplicate a column, if you want to delete a column, if you want to hide a column. Let's duplicate the column. Okay, now on the duplicated one I will perform some transformation.
And Rahul, and these transformation capabilities are only from the fed file or from the live sources as well?
No, even in your live sources you will have some data qualities as well.
I mean, the data qualities operations will be same or are different? I mean, the limitations
in
are
that,
there.
yeah, there are limitations. Most data quality operations you'll see in case of your flat files.
Okay. So
So
the idea
Rahul,
here is that for live connection, the transformation has to be done before the data is coming to the SEC. Whatever
Yes,
transformation
yes.
has to be done, it should be done in the HANA
The
system or
best,
whatever system is there.
correct. That is what the best practices we follow. So if you're connecting to Enterprise HANA, so the best practices says that we should do all the data quality data operations at the source itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And Rahul, can we integrate more than one file? I mean, can we
Yes, we
import
can.
data from?
We can add.
Okay.
Yes, we can add. Okay. So I'll show that all the topics. Okay. Okay. So we do have options of transformations. So we'll see more details in the upcoming sessions. How we'll go ahead with the transformations. How we'll go ahead with the model building. How we'll go ahead with the story building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So next session is on Monday at 9:30 p.m. That is tomorrow at 9:30 p.m.